Hello, everyone. This is your host, Desiree. Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Faith Vision, where we give a voice to those Christian entrepreneurs in our community. Today, I have a special guest all the way from Omaha, and she is the owner and the founder of K Possible Solution. She will talk to us more about, that and her amazing product that she had put together for our kids. So, sit back. We are going to talk about education, learning tools, so that we can better talk to our children so that we can, understand them better. So I am going to bring her on the screen here. Hi, Keisha, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. So we're going to start tonight by saying that we are very honored for you to have accepted our, invitation here on the show. And this is actually, I am happy that you are here because I do have some great questions for you. The subject of talking to or have a conversation with our kids nowadays is very crucial. So I am glad. And I would like to mention that Kisha is actually an educator. She is a family facilitator at OPS, which is Omaha
Yes.
Public School. So, Kisha, there you go. Go ahead. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, I'm born and raised in Omaha, extremely family oriented. I work for OPS. I have a son that's 10 years old. So I'm just entangled with families and education extremely. It's important to me. So within my position as a family facilitator, I partner with families on a daily and just to for them to understand that they're the future, that they know what's best for their child, just really being there to and to support them, to help them navigate the system, finding those resources and equipping them with those tools. Is something that I do on a daily basis, and I'm a mom on a daily, so a lot of my business and my product comes from my position and being a parent. So I'm very passionate about education in families.
Okay. Thank you, Kisha. So how did let's talk about your product here. I think it's called Earful Conversation Deck. Is that correct? And
Yes.
I want us to can you tell us a little bit about how did that vision come about?
Like I said, like in my position, one of the things we do is try to bridge the gap between home and school and home, and help with that transition. So I would go into the homes, and a lot of times families would kind of just be uncomfortable having conversations with their children. And so I had
Mm-hmm.
to look at my own life as well, like how difficult it is to start conversations when you're off of a job, or you have so many different things going on, and you're tired. So I started thinking about, what can I equip families with? What type of tool, resource can I have that supports families? That's just easy. These are questions that anybody can come up with, but when you're so busy and you're on the go, you know, it's hard. So just to pick up the box, and one of the slogans that I always have is just grab a card from the deck and get ready to reconnect. Is just so easy when you're sitting down for dinner to just grab a card, read the card, and then just everybody just pitch in and have conversations. So it just kind of came natural from my position and from being a parent as well.
Okay. So so I do believe that you do that with your own son, with your own son, sorry. And And how often do you do it with them? How often do you recommend that parents should sit down with the kids and go through the cards with them or go through those questions with them?
I honestly would leave the deck at the dinner table or just that everybody comes together. I would just leave it there so that you don't have that pressure put on you. Like
Hmm.
for my deck, I didn't want to have too many directions. I wanted it to feel as natural as possible. So just leave a couple of cards just randomly around the house. And as you go, you just pick them up. You can leave a couple in the car, wherever, and you can just pick it up, read the question, and then conversation is just flowing. I don't want to be the lead on the how those conversations are flowing or when you do it or how many you ask. I just want to just provide the tool and you make use of it how it fits your family.
So, so I did order mine today actually, and I'm very
I
excited
saw,
because
thank
yes, I did order mine, and I went through I went to your page, and I checked those questions a little bit, and it looks like there are open-ended questions. So why do you think that those questions are helpful? To be able to start a conversation with the kids.
Right. It's easy to be distracted with so much that's going on. I didn't want
Hmm.
children and families to get caught up in just the yes or the no. That's what we do on a
Yeah,
regular basis anyway.
that's true.
So it's extremely important to have open-ended questions for children to really think about their answer. A lot of times when I go to expos and we ask children and families these questions, they're just like shocked, or they really don't have
Hmm.
an answer because they haven't really sat down as often as maybe we all should have. So I just think
That's
it's
true.
nice to just leave them around and engage as much as possible.
Thank you, Keisha. I think it's true. Um, I think what I wanted to do is show them because we were talking about those questions, so maybe the viewers don't have a clue. I mean, they know what we are talking about, but maybe some of them are visual. So let me see if I can find the cards that you and we are talking about right now.
I have a pack here if you want me to pull it out
Oh,
too.
perfect. Because I wanted to show. I actually go ahead. Show us how many cards do you have in the package, and then show us a
There's
couple of
50,
questions and see. I'm gonna type those
there's
in.
54
Oh wow.
54 cards in a deck,
Okay.
and they come like this. And there's three cards that kind of just give you encouragement to start. I don't really want to call them instructions or directions, just encouragements, and just kind of how this came about. It's a variety of questions. So I'll start with, what are you scared of and why? What are you
Hmm.
scared of and why? And that right there will provoke conversations. And a lot of times we really don't have those conversations with our children until something comes up, until they're actually afraid of something, scared of something, and then we have to have those conversations. But if we can prevent that ahead of time, that's a game changer. So just talking to your child about what they're scared of and why they have that fear. This is just completely opposite of that question. If you were in a band, what instrument would you play and why? Just a random question. Sorry.
So,
Um,
so what will be the age? I'm a mama of three. I'm a mama of three, and then my first one is 2.5 years old. So when do you think we should start really having those conversations with them?
I would start as early as possible. When I meet with moms that are pregnant, we discuss having those conversations, singing to your unborn baby right
Mm,
away.
yeah.
So I don't believe there's an age limit. I really don't. I think that you can start these conversations as early as possible. You don't want to have that mind frame of that your child can't respond. So for your 2-year old, I would say, what are you scared of? I believe that your child will be able to answer that question at 2 years old. My mom is a preschool teacher, and she takes these cards with her kids, and they have like an opening meeting where they pull cards and they have conversations about it, and they're all able to respond and articulate. And so I wouldn't put an age on it.
That's awesome. Actually, when I bought those cards, I was thinking about my kids, yes, but also, um, like I was telling you earlier, I'm a pastor's wife, so we do have a kids ministry. So I was thinking about sitting down and having a conversation actually with those youth, for instance, because I feel like those are the age group that are, a lo- I think they have a lot more going on, if I may say that. Do you understand? So we really need to,
Yeah.
have start a conversation with them and see how they feel and see how they think. So that's really what really led me to buy those cards. So, like Keisha said, there is no age limit. I mean, I will definitely start a conversation with my 2.5 and also my kids at church. So, definitely, I encourage every parent to go ahead. I haven't received mine, but the only fact that they are open-ended question, I am happy. I'm interested. Because yeah, usually when I go pick up my daughter, I will ask her, "How was your no? What did you do? No, not what did you do? What was your what do- did you have a good day?" That's every time I ask her. And today with your cards, I understood that that's not the way to ask. You know, it's how was your day?
Right.
You
That's
know,
very common.
yeah, yeah, so I learned that. So I'm very excited about receiving my cards. Well, let's switch topics here and then let's talk about your book. You are a published author, and apparently you wrote a book back in 2019 called Jalen's Superpowers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Again, I was, I would say my position at my school, Mount View Elementary, and co-workers, we noticed just the materials within our building weren't representing the population that we're serving. We needed to get more culturally relevant books in the classroom.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we were set on the mission to do this. We started North Omaha building brains and barbershops, where we provided bookshelves and culturally relevant books in barbershops. And it was just so much research that I was doing to find the appropriate books to put in the barbershops, to put in the classrooms, to have the barbers come speak in the classrooms and read in the classrooms. And then I'm just like, I have stories to tell myself. Like, as a people, we're natural storytellers. We have so much to say, so much culture. And I'm sitting here every day looking at my child and the things that he's doing. And it just inspired me to start writing my own book. And
Hmm.
Jalen's superpowers is just about him having these abilities that he believes are superpowers. And there's people within the book, his sister and other people, that they don't believe these are superpowers, and he feels like he has to continue to prove himself. And I just feel like kids, they have these abilities that and they're going to face adversity, but it just starts with you believing within yourself. So that's kind of where the book came about.
Hmm. That's really interesting because I will receive my book. I'm interested also. I'm raising a black son, so definitely, um, it feels like I read about Jalen. So what I read about him on Amazon, because I did take a peek. You said it was a so he is he is a young black man who love American football. Is that correct? So I'm
Yes.
not gonna ask you to tell us everything. Let me discover the book. Let me read about it. But so it looks like your son loves American football. So that's is it one of his superpower too?
Yes, that's one of his abilities. He's actually an athlete, and in the book it talks about his super speed. He believes that he just has this superpower and he's just way faster than everyone. And there are people that of course they don't believe. They're just like, oh, you're kind of fast, but I don't
Mhm.
think it's a superpower. So it's just kids just need to believe in their abilities. And who's to say that it's not?
I love that. I love that. Yes. And then I think I was reading something about grit. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's GRIT. So it's something about um, stirring. It's something about stirring your kids' creativity. Um, um, I don't know if, as an educator, you heard about grit, and can you tell us more about that? I feel like that book is all about creating something, like I said, in those, like you said, in those kids. Have you heard about that word before?
Yes, I think it's about persevering, and it's just kind of having that wiggle room, that confidence, knowing yourself. And I think it comes with having those relationships as well. Like me and my son, we
Mm-hmm.
have a real talk about everything. He can express himself freely. So there is a sense of confidence that he has, and he
Yes.
believes in these abilities that he has so
Yes.
much that he believes that they're superpowers. So it doesn't matter how many people come to him and tell him that they're not superpowers. He has that grit, and he's going to keep persevering, and he's going to keep pushing forward. And I think a lot of that is that those relationships and that family support and that a natural abilities that he has.
Thank you, Keisha. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. As I mean, you're an entrepreneur, and I am going to ask you a question about bullying. An entrepreneur is somebody that sees a problem and decide that it wants to resolve that issue. So the big issue here, whether it is in America, at first, um, I thought it was only that issue was only in America because when I grew up back in Africa, we did not have that issue. I'm very honest. And we were talking about like maybe 30, 40 years ago, right? And then probably here it was not an issue as well. But nowadays we hear, let me give you the statistics that 1 in 5 kids, um, uh, yeah, 1 in 5 students from the ages of 12 to 18 have been bullied um, during the school year. So this is really a big problem, and it's worldwide now. It's everywhere. So when I was thinking about your cards, I thought to myself, does having a conversation with the kids will help, decrease that phenomenon, you think? Sit down with them and talk to them and instill in them some values. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that children that bully, there's a need that's not being met. There's something that needs
Hmm.
to be fulfilled there.
Hmm.
And that's just one of the ways that it's coming out. So, like you said, I think that there's so much room for more conversation. Not all on the parents, 100%. It's not all 100% on the parents. The child
Hmm.
spends 8 hours a day in the classroom. So it's on the school as well, and that's why I think it's so
Hmm.
important that we have those partnerships as a school with the family and as the with the families with the school as well. Is that we need to start having these difficult conversations and coming
Hmm.
together for the child. So after the deck that I currently have that's for the families, the next one that's coming out is about the classroom community. So building that community within the classroom. So they have those ties and they have a certain bond with one another in the classroom. So we can cut some of that bullying out. Learning how to to speak to one another. A lot of times kids, they don't know those boundaries and the things that other kids have been through. So just to build that community within the classroom, I think will cut a lot of that bullying out as well, because in school there's not that much time for kids to have those conversations and have those relationships and learn those, just to have those social emotional skills built upon. So there's a need that's not being met when a child is bullying. I
Mhm.
think that's the first. I think that's the first thing that we need to tackle in figuring out what that need is.
So, so I was reading an article, and it looks like the number one um, reason why those kids get bullied is because, first of all, their appearance, the race, and the second reason will be the race and the gender. Um, do you talk about do you how can I so do you talk about race in your cards? Do you mention race, or do you talk about do can we sit down and talk about our appearance, our appearances with the kids with your cards? So tell us a little bit about that.
It's funny that you bring that up because that's another deck that I'm working on with my colleagues that we started the North Omaha Building Brains and Barbershop. We really want to tackle, we want to use this moment to tackle and have conversations about race. And not just for Black families to have conversations about
Hmm.
race, because a lot of us are already doing that. But with this deck, we want to have everybody having conversations about race, because we can't do this alone. So white families need to also have
Hmm.
conversations about race
Absolutely.
within their home as well. And I think that that
Absolutely.
would cut a lot of that bullying as well, because if we're not talking about it and it's not being addressed, it just will continue to happen. So that's
Hmm.
definitely coming soon. I'm trying to tackle every issue as fast as possible, but it'll come. So first was the family. Next will be the classroom community, and then I'm working with my colleagues on a conversation deck around race as well.
Would you be would you be I don't know, in the future, would you be interested in going to churches and going to, or are you doing this right now to talk about those issues and use your cards and have start a conversation with those kids? Would you be interested in the future to go to
I
any
would love to do
nonprofit?
that.
Okay, well, I will keep you posted then,
Yeah, I would
because
love to.
probably I will invite you to my church. I would love for you to come and talk to my youth group. Um, so this, like you said, this is a really sensitive and a really broad subject, and I'm glad that somebody has actually seen the issue and like you said, you are working on it. So race is definitely um, a very, very hot topic. So more power to you and your team. Um, my next question for
Thank
you.
you.
My next question for you. Um, what do you think? So, what is the difference for you? And now we are switching gears. I want you to help a mompreneur there. You're a mom raising a young man, and what can you tell a mompreneur there? She wants to start. She would like to start a business, and but she doesn't know if it needs to be. She has passion for something, but she doesn't know if it needs to be a hobby or a business. I don't know if you understand my question. So
I
she's a
get it.
mompreneur. Okay.
I think it's important to walk in your purpose. And a lot of times I think we as a people, we're so creative, and
Mm.
I think you just need to do it. You need to do it. I know for myself personally, I'm a creative first and an entrepreneur second. I don't completely understand the business world as much as I
Mm,
know, and I'm
mm,
passionate about why I'm doing this, who I'm doing it for. Like, I understand that this is my purpose. And as I'm walking on this journey, I'm learning the business part of it. So it can be
mhm.
overwhelming when you first start and you're thinking about all these numbers and the paperwork that you have to file and all those type of things. It can be nerve-wracking, but you just need to start. You just need to do it. And if you feel like this is your purpose and you're passionate about it, I would say just go out on a limb. And it takes a community to make things happen. Like, I have people I bounce ideas off of. I couldn't do this by myself. I have people I have long conversations with, people that encourage me, family support 100% behind me. So I think you need to find that support system and why you're doing it, and truly, are you moving in your purpose? And if you can say yes to all of those things, I would just say go forth and do it, and you'll figure everything else will come together. You just have to have faith and move forward.
That's true. I will say amen to that. So, Keisha, what do you think about um what do you think about you mentioned the word purpose, and this is a really big word, because I know a lot of people, a lot of women are looking for the purpose, the destiny. So, is it because you work as an educator that whole idea of creating, uh, the earful conversation that came about? Is it? I know you told us at the beginning why you created it, but do you think that it's because you are in contact with the kids a lot, or how did you find that purpose that you just talked about?
I think I honestly believe that it was something that was always on my heart and my mind. Like, I've always worked with kids. Like, my first job at the Boys and Girls Club, I've always worked with youth. So having those conversations, building those relationships, just is so easy for me to get along with children and build those relationships.
Mm,
So I've always had these ideas and wanting to create for years on years. So the purpose was always there, but I wasn't completely listening. I wanted to create
hmm,
my own. I wanted to create my own purpose. I would look
hmm,
at what other people were doing and wanting to match what they had going on instead of living in what I was supposed to do, my purpose. So it took me a little longer to get where I'm at and where I'm going than I would have liked. But I was led to the Boys and Girls Club. I was led to Omaha Public Schools. I was led to the work in the barber shops and where I am now. But it was always my purpose. I just wasn't listening at the time.
hmm. Thank you, Keisha. I would like to show a copy of your book here. So this is Keisha's book, Gaining Superpowers. So it is available on Amazon, and I think it costs $10, and then plus the shipping. And like she said, you can get it on Amazon. Can we get it any other places, or is it mainly on Amazon?
I would encourage people to get it on the earfulconversationdeck.com.
Okay.
That's where I have the cards and the book. And then right now I have a deal where you can get the cards and the book within a bundle as well. So that's where I would say, if you would like to purchase, go on over there to that.
So her information is scrolling down. So it's www.earfulconversationdeck.com. So I will encourage the viewers to buy the bundle. Just buy the bundle, get the book, and also the earful conversation deck, so that you can start a meaningful conversation with your kids. So that was her book. So let's see. So Keisha, another question for you, and then I'm back to the mompreneur. Because I feel like, oh no, I not actually that I feel, I read about it that so most of those of the entrepreneurs, especially in our black community, they're most of them are all women. So I know that I don't know the numbers about them, um well, anyway, let's say that there are mompreneurs, okay? Um so there are mompreneurs, they have kids that they have to take care of. I mean, and then they go to work, viewers, all of those entrepreneurs, they do have full-time jobs, right? They do have full-time jobs. They have full-time, they are full-time moms. So, Keisha, my question for you, how were you able to, or are you, do you think that a mompreneur can manage or balance a work life? Between taking care of the kids, taking care of the business, taking care of and everything else. Especially now with in 2020, everything is almost 99% virtual. So, you know, so how do you think that they can manage um all that?
I think that it's possible. Like you said, it's a lot of black women are out here. We have it in us. I don't like to use the word strong because then people overuse us, but we have it
Yeah.
in us to work hard to find a way. Like you have to find a way to fulfill your purpose. Like I understand we
Mm,
have kids that are going to pull from you. You have work that's going to pull from you, but what are you doing for yourself? You have to have time
mm,
to fulfill your purpose. It's not a meaningful life if you go through it and you never really do anything for yourself. Then how are you constantly giving to other people?
mhm, mhm.
So a lot of this is me feeding into myself. And when I'm well and when I'm at the top of my game, I'm able to feed into other people. And that's
That's
why it's
true.
coming out the way it is, because I
That's
wasn't
true.
completely full so much of my life trying to figure it out. And now things are going in a different direction because I'm feeding into myself. I'm making sure that I'm healthy. I'm building a stronger relationship with God. So
That's
everything
true.
is going in a positive direction because I'm working on myself. So as a
That's true.
mom, you have to find time for what you're passionate about as well. And your kids are watching. There's the feeling that I have now showing my son that I'm creating these products, writing this book, like this is building his confidence as well, just seeing me fulfill, my passions. So you have to find time. And when you're feeding yourself, you're feeding into your family and everything
That's
around you.
true. It's very true. It's very true. Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask you if you can, if you have any last word, but I would love for you to give us some words of encouragement here to all those Christian entrepreneurs out there that are trying, that are really working hard on their projects, on their dreams. What can you tell them?
I think a lot of it is that we need to start supporting one another.
Yes.
Um, we need to invest in our community, invest in people. I see so many people out here doing wonderful things, and it's just about coming together. We all can't be on separate islands doing several different things. We need to start coming together and supporting one another within our purpose. So, exactly what you're doing right now, giving me this platform to speak on a resource, a tool that I have that hopefully can support families is exactly what we need to do. We need to use our platforms to support one another. So, in words of encouragement, I would just say if you're passionate about it and you feel like it's your purpose, to just go for it.
Thank you. And now that you mentioned supporting each other, what does it really mean to support a Black owned business, small business? What does it really mean to you?
It means
And then that will be
whatever
the end.
Whatever
Go ahead.
whatever you can offer, and it can be confusing at times to where it's like you have to buy up all the products, and it's so simple as a share, a like, or if you're having a conversation, for me
Thank you.
for
It's true.
instance, with a family, and I know of a product that's out there that can support that family, just sharing
Yes.
information within the community. If you work with families, if you work with kids, if you work in healthcare, sharing information is just as helpful as buying a
Yes.
deck of cards. You can just share. I heard there's conversation deck out there that can really get families having conversation and talking, and I think it'll be good for
Yes.
you. That's supporting. Just something simple as that. Praying for one another. That's
Yes.
supporting. Something as simple as that. You mentioned moms that have children. Maybe help watching the children
That's true.
while she goes out and does the things that she needs to do. So supporting looks so different for different people. However, you can
Mm-hmm.
support, and I think it isn't clearly defined in our community, and that's where it gets confusing. You might not always make every event possible, and I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
why it can be confusing. So it just needs to be defined as to where whatever you can do is supporting a Black owned business.
Keisha, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out here and then tell us all those valuable information. That was really, really helpful, meaningful to me at least. I learned something today. So really, I am very impatient. I'm very impatient to receive my uh, yes, my cards, because I really wanna, put them to practice, talk to my kids, and I'm really, really, really happy about that. Viewers, you heard it from Keisha Partridge, owner of K Possible Solution, and please go out, support her, share, like she said, show her some love, share, click on that like button, click on that heart button. That's all we are asking for. And if you know a family that really need, those the bundle, that really need the book and the healful conversation cards, please let her know. All right. So it's
Thank
only
you.
$20. It's only $20. So, invest in somebody else's life. Invest in a young man, in a young girl life. All right. So, Keisha, thank you again. Thank you for
Thank
watching
you.
Entrepreneurs, Faith and Vision. And you all have a good night.